Good morning, everybody. Hope your weekend went well. It was really hot here in Wichita. In fact, we saw 102 yesterday. So we have one of those little pockets of high pressure air that gets screwed tighter and tighter. And being at the bottom of that, it's where it's the hottest. And they say it'll be out of here by Thursday. We'll be back to normal temperatures in the high 70s, low 80s. So it actually did feel pretty good though to sweat compared to what the weather has been like up until then. I mean, we were wearing fleece and jackets on Wednesday and definitely shorts over the weekend. This is really, really bad for the hard red winter wheat crop. There is no moisture here, and when you introduce 100-degree temperatures with no moisture and high winds, what moisture there is there just gets sucked out of it. So the wheat crop is definitely stressed in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and it's moving up into eastern Colorado and western Nebraska now. And that will add to inflation in food. So here we are. It's Monday morning. The fighting is escalating in the Ukraine. Last week's hook by the IMF saying we can't give you $17 billion on the terms we just negotiated if you lose the eastern Ukraine province. So the Ukraine has stepped up pressure on these cities taken over by quote-unquote ethnic Russian Ukrainians that are taking over these buildings. And we'll see how that shakes out. That's helped gold. It will help financials in and of itself. Probably won't break it out to the upside. In and of itself, the E-minis off over the weekend. Going to open low. The selling in the European stock market is being based on weakness in China's PMI. The real estate market is contracting quickly. Monday morning, people have to figure out what we've got going on. The E-mini is lower. That supports the financials too. And we're starting an auction week. Some news today to get through. Market services PMI for services is 55.3, the same as it was last month. ISM services out of Phoenix, Arizona is at 54.2, higher than it was last month. This would be supportive for the indexes, not so for the financials if it comes in as expected. And then we have this week's auction, and the way it's starting out is that we're going to look at 3 higher auctions this week. Bank of America came out with a big report over the weekend. Don't fade the bond rally. They're talking mostly in terms of technicals, moving averages being crossed. Some of the other services out there are talking about how the economy is not as strong as the headlines would like us to believe. So there's, the usual cross current about growth, no growth, slowing growth, accelerating growth as we start the week out. And it is Monday morning. I think the easiest trade to see is failure to take out 24.31, 25.01. So selling failure to take out this area is a reasonable trade. Everything else is pointing to higher prices. As you can see, volume is moving up in these distributions, but we do have to take out resistance. Second sell is going to be 25.03 to 07. On the buy side, London, the last rotate down was 22, so I've got the buy 19 to 23, leaning against the overnight session low at 18, and then we'll make it 13 to 17 for buy 2. Okay, the conditions in western Canada are so cold that she even made the Drudge report this morning, Reg. They were talking about, I think you had, what, 6 inches of snow in Calgary? So you guys need some global warming up there for sure. when people go back and look at the changes in the weather and changes in temperature, it happens quickly. When you go back and look at the years when there was no sun or there was no summer or the rest of it, it didn't happen gradually where you built into it over 20 or 30 years. It happened bingo like that. So right now, the polar vortex that came down from Canada and still continues to come down really has the footprint of the glaciation period we had in the United States. Most people don't, I mean, it's not in the fore of your thinking, but there were 2 miles, ice was 2 miles thick over Manhattan 15,000 years ago. And geologically, that's no time. So it's when you go out west and you travel through the west and you look at all the busted up trees and debris in these arroyos out there, that doesn't come from a gradual rain. That comes from a downpour at the head of the canyon or the arroyo. So we think, you read in terms of average temperature, average rainfall, and the rest of it, we think that it comes out this way. It doesn't come at us this way. It comes at you pretty fast and furious. Okay, the knob spread is expanding, holding its own, and you saw that we had some prints on the 6-month wind structure in the note. We don't have it. We're on highs right here because of the knob spread. So resistance is 36.16. Selling failure to take out 16 to 20 is the easiest trade to see today. If we retest that in a day session and can't take it out, then that's a pretty good place to get short. I'm going to move this, because of the knob spread, we're going to move the second sell up to 27 to 31. On the buy side, last rotate down in London was 06. And then we have a 01 to 05 buy. We'll lean against the buck, and then we'll make it 29 to 25. I do like the long side better on the idea that we're going to have a strong auction this week. Don't really know how the Ukraine plays, but it is supportive in and of itself. Political instability, the uncertainty of a war. Gold says that the fighting in the Ukraine needs to be paid attention to. Okay, Jake, try at the top of the hour, and if you can't get through to tech, then you'll see Peter Nanis's name when he pops up in the room. Send Peter Nanis a private message on your software problems. You might want to do a cold reboot on your computer too. Okay, gold's pretty strong. We've had 2 distributions higher. That 15 to 17 area, you can see the high volume number up there. That's pretty good resistance. We are pointed higher, so 15, 17 will be sell 1. We've got this low volume number at 21, so we'll make 20, 22, sell 2. I think it takes an escalation in the fighting from the Ukraine, and that news is already out to push us higher right now. On the buy side, we broke it out from 7/10, we'll make 8 to 10 buy 1, and then 3 to 5 for buy 2. But this political instability and financial instability is one thing that drives gold, and we have that this morning. Also, there was an article out over the weekend that they've arrested 11 Malaysians with Al-Qaeda ties for the disappearance of Malaysian Flight 370. And I have no idea why they were arrested, but seeing the name Al-Qaeda there, and I mean, it would be something that Al-Qaeda would do. And it does look like a hijacking to me from a pilot's perspective on how it was done and where it was taken. I have no idea if it's at the bottom of the ocean. There's a lot of speculation that it was flown to a hangar, Burma, any of the stands in Russia or Pakistan, and then the other side of it is that hijacking gone bad. It's the bottom of the Indian Ocean, so I mean, I don't know. Neither does anybody else right now. Okay, looking at the euro is holding its own. Merkel came out over the weekend talking for new talks to contain the outbreak and fighting Ukraine and Russia, and Putin over the weekend said, it's not my fault. You know, these are ethnic Russian Ukrainians that are doing that. It's not my people, it's not my special forces. That's a Ukrainian problem. So I think what happened last week was that the IMF changed the stakes of the game for everybody. This is resistance, the 75 to 85 area, then 139 even, 139.10 will be sell too. And with, like I said, with the IMF holding Russians' money, ransom right now, maybe Russia just kind of backs off a little bit to make sure they get that $17 billion that supposedly is going to the Ukraine. We'll make 50 plus or minus 5 for our buy 1. The assumption that we're not going to be able to break it out to the upside tonight, right now, and then 25 to 35 for buy 2. But Germany has been the most compliant, not necessarily as a government, but with German businessmen and everybody else coming in saying, hey, let's take it easy here. There's no reason to not work out this problem with the Ukraine and Russia. And businessmen love stability. Businessmen like their chain of supply uninterrupted. They don't like the instability that comes with political upheavals, etc. So the German government's businessmen or business councils have been the ones that have jumped out and said, hey, let's slow this down. Crude rallied off the news over the weekend, but it's since come back. It got up to 100, it's like 40, and we're back to 99.98. So again, I think the play in crude oil is as long as this thing keeps closing below 100, we can sell it, and it will take something like the Ukraine breakout of fighting over there to take it higher, and it can rally $2 to $3 if that fighting really looks like it's going to get out of hand. So we got a 25 to 50 sell, then 75 to the buck. On the buy side, I'm going to make it 50 to 75, thinking go a little lower. And then 99 even, 99 and a quarter. Monday mornings, quite often it's 2.5 hours before the markets settle in and give you a direction, and don't be surprised if that's the case this morning. There's a lot of quiet news out there. The news that's going to hit today probably could be supportive, but it's not major news. It won't change things. So the E-mini is selling. Resistance held. We did not make new highs last week. So the market, cash indexes did, but futures didn't. So it all gets down to which way the buy and sell programs on the NYSE going to take the market today. Okay, we got this volume bulge at 65, so we're right in this support area, 65, 67, and it could hold. So I'm going to play for a little lower. We're going to make buy 1, 60 to 62, then 55, 57. Don't think we can break the market today, but 65, 67, this high volume number might be support. And as always, if you want the safest place to put a resting limit buy or sells against these high volume numbers, and you usually have time to deal with it. It takes a piece of news to break them or take them out. The spill was from 71, so resistance is 70 to 72, and then our 75 to 77. So we got a very tight market this morning starting out. Resistance is at 70 to 72 first. It is our first sell, and 75, 77 is our number 2 sell. On the buy side, we'll open it up 60, 62, 55, 57, but it may take 65s to get in. I think we'll have time to put that trade on. It'll take me at least 20 minutes to get everything up and out. I'm going to get on that right now. See ya as soon as I can. Later.